Deshaun said it. You don't rate people who are married out of respect. Thank you, Deshaun. Deshaun is a person that transcribes and gives you the chapters. When I find out a woman is married, especially a woman is married, still married and has children, I leave it alone because she's off limits. That's the way I was raised. My opinion doesn't matter. Her husband's opinion matters. I can think you are a 3, but if your husband married you, I have no right. I won't say right. I'm out of bounds to just do that. And you guys know, if you watch me across the board, I tend to back away. And only when kind of asked. And in general, when somebody's married, I don't delve too much into their situation unless they're probing and asking questions about it.
Okay, I mean, I get where he's coming from, and it's not that I disagree with that. On face value, yeah, I wouldn't go. I guess what he's saying is a matter of respect, towards the husband, to not come around and judge the wife after the fact, after they're already married. However, I see women really celebrating something like this because women like the fact that their past can be glossed over. Women like the fact that their past can be, for lack of a better word, forgiven. When it comes to forgiveness, God forgives, and we can always go to God for forgiveness. But when it comes to marriage, you want to scrutinize. You want to scrutinize the past. You want to scrutinize the behavior. You want to scrutinize what you're getting yourself into, because the difference is that when God forgives, right? There can be a washing away and a changing of not the history per se, but the constitution of the person. However, when it comes to marriage, because we're still in this physical body, we're still in, and it's not that people can't change. People can change, women can change, but she's always going to have some kind of remnants of who she used to be. It's going to affect her, right? Men have to be they have to scrutinize. You have to use scrutiny towards the woman that you're marrying before you get married. After you get married, it's a different story. Once you get married, you got to leave that alone. You can't touch it because you already made your choice, right? You got to hope that the past doesn't come back to haunt you, and that's a big hope, because women learn how to be jaded. Women learn how to manipulate. They learn how to lie as they're out there messing around, as they're out there, doing their tricks. I mean, you got to be very ignorant to think that a woman who is promiscuous, who is dating around, who is sleeping around, isn't learning tricks, isn't exercising manipulation, isn't damaging herself and damaging others, because it has to. It just has to. That's how it goes when you are sleeping around, when you're jumping from guy to guy. That's how it goes. That's what happens. Women have to pretend to be something they're not. They have to put on a fake veneer personality. They have to put on, a fake persona, because they can't be honest. What happens when you, and really this is only, well, I wouldn't say only with women. Men, it happens with men too. Men put on a fake persona, but men put on a fake persona for a different reason. Women put on a fake persona to make themselves look more innocent than they actually are. Men put on a fake persona to make themselves look and can come across better than they actually are, come across more alpha or more bad boy or whatever, right? Because we know what gets women. What interests women is the rogue, mysterious, cool, bad boy guy. And so we got to pretend that we're this and that, and then women got to pretend that they're innocent, and women got to pretend that they're like not out there messing around, right? but we know the truth. So don't think that that's not going to affect her. Don't think that that's not going to affect who she becomes, her character. You know, when you live your life a certain way, it's going to affect you, and you're going to bring that baggage. You don't have to just have kids to have baggage. You can have emotional baggage. You can have mental baggage. You bring that into a relationship, a marriage, and sooner or later it's going to come out one way or the other. So I agree with what he's saying in a sense. Like, yeah, we don't go probing around in people's personal lives. That's not our business per se. But I would just say to any guy thinking about marrying a woman, you have to be very, very discerning, which is hard because women learn how to lie. They learn how to cover up their past. They learn how to gloss it over and make you think that they're a certain type of way when they're not. Make you think they're more innocent than they actually are. Lie about their past. Lie about their body count. You're crazy if you think women aren't doing this. Because they know darn well, no one knows better than women what men want. They know what men want, a pure, and they hate it. And as they're living that promiscuous lifestyle, they fight and rage against men's preferences. And then they try to manipulate men's preferences, and they try to brainwash us into buying into their narrative that, oh, having sex is okay. Me sleeping around doesn't matter. And they hate that. But then when it comes down to it, when they do find a guy, or excuse me, when they do leave and exit that era of their life, and they want to find a guy and settle down for marriage, then it's all glossed over. And they don't talk about it. Oh, I had a little bit of fun. Oh, I dated a couple guys. Yeah, right. Her leg count numbers in the hundreds probably. So they want to play that down, obviously. So it's very difficult to discern that as a man coming into that. It's like, how do you know? I would just assume, and I've talked about this before on my channel, you just assume. It's just like, if she's really even over the age of, as crazy as it sounds, over the age of 18, 19, 20, you just assume. When I was in my early 20s, I dated a girl who was 18. She was a couple years younger than me, and I asked her body count one day, and I think she was 18 years old, and she told me her body count was 18. She was 18 years old, and she had slept with 18 guys, and she took a count of it in her diary. She wrote them all down. She wrote all the guys' names down and all the details about the hookups. 18, and she already slept with 18 guys, and that was back in 2000, mid 2000s, almost 20 years ago now. So don't think that these girls aren't, in 2023. By the time they're 20 years old, they're professionals, right? So I'm just saying, man, we live in a different era. You just assume. You just assume it. She's attractive. Unless she, I think I read somewhere that only 3% of women over the age of 25 are virgins or something like that. Like 3%, less than 3%. And for men, the number's higher, obviously. I think it was like 10 or 15% for men, maybe even higher than that, maybe 20%. I don't know the statistics. You can probably Google that, but good luck, man. Good luck. And I guess it's just damage control after a certain point. It's just like, well, let me pick the least damaged one. Women are emotionally invested in sex. Whether or not it's a hookup, whether or not they lie to themselves and act like, oh, I can do anything a man can do. Women are emotionally invested in sex. They can't have sex with a man unless their emotions are involved. And how that happens is emotional investment. The woman needs to be emotionally invested in you. And not only that, when you have sex with somebody, certain, I think it's called oxytocin, or certain chemicals in your brain are released that cause pair bonding. that cause you to bond with your partner. So whenever a woman is, say a woman has slept with 50, 60 guys, she's emotionally invested in 50, 60 guys, and she's had sex hormones that have released to bond to those men. I mean, that can't be healthy mentally and emotionally. That's what you're getting when you settle down with a woman. That's what you're getting. So yeah, it's not our business and it's not our place necessarily per se on the surface to judge another man's wife. Yeah, that's your wife. I get it. But you should judge your wife. You should judge and vet the woman that you're thinking about marrying, and just know that. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's not that you couldn't put a value on her, or it's not that someone from the outside couldn't put a value on her. But what's your value of her? A lot of guys, oh, well, I love her. Her past doesn't matter to me. Well, it should. It should matter because it's going to come back one way or the other. She can easily slip back into her bad behavior, her manipulative behavior, easily, and she can easily cheat on you. Her past can come back. She gets bored. Oh, you know what? I'm tired of this same old guy. I remember I used to have so much fun with all these different guys, and it was great, and I missed that, and now I made this commitment, and even though I wanted the commitment at the time, now the commitment is boring. It's stale. My love for him has waned. I think the average marriage lasts 8 years before divorce. Well, I shouldn't say the average marriage, but when a divorce, the average amount of time before a divorce happens in marriage is 8 years. 8 years. And 50% of marriages end in divorce. So 50% of marriages will end in 8 years statistically. That's just a fact, man. Those are not good odds. And that's not 8 years is a long time. Depends on how you look at it. But if you made a vow till death do us part, for the rest of our lives, we're going to be together, and it only lasts 8 years, that's horrible. And divorce for men is horrible, right? It's just not a good investment, man. It's not a good deal for most men. It depends on the circumstance. If you can find a woman who's somehow pure, you found a unicorn, maybe. I don't know, man, but I just know there's a lot of guys out here who are playing tricks on themselves, who are playing their own mind games. Oh, she's so special, and oh, this is, I love, and women just know how to get a guy to, that they know how to love bomb. Women are wonderfully talented at love bombing. They love bomb men. What this means is they make you think that you're so special. They make you think that, she's so special. They make you think that the love you got is so great. And they know that men, they know how we're wired. They know that men, and men are dumb. Men are just like, oh, no woman pays attention to me. Yet here's this girl who's so pretty, and she's giving me all this attention, and she's making me feel so special. And it's like, yeah, that's the con, dude. That's the game. That's the game that she's playing, to make you believe that your love is so pure, and it's all, you're just being invested in. She's just investing in you because she sees potential in you, whether it's financial or you're just steady or a steady guy, and she wants that. She wants something from you. Men love unconditionally and women love conditionally. A woman's love is conditional on something that you're giving her, something that she wants from you, whether it's long-term stability, long-term financial resources. It may even be a kind of love and intimacy, but it's for her. It's solipsism. It's not that because you're just so special. She knows she can change you out. This is why I can't remember the statistic, but many women in relationships and marriages have a backup guy. Look at Tom Brady's wife, Gisele Bündchen. The guy that she's dating now was a friend of the family, was a guy that was around his kids, a guy that was around her for years before they divorced, before they were even talking about divorce. Women have backup men. it's just in their DNA to set up a guy in case, and they want a monkey branch. And this is why women like to friend zone guys. This is why women like to have guys in the friend zone, because maybe if it doesn't work out with my main guy, maybe I'll monkey branch onto this guy or jump over to this guy for a while. They have no remorse. This is why, like, the friend zone is the worst place to be. It's like you're a backup, dude. She's not even giving you anything for your time, and you're hoping that she's gonna one day maybe break up with her guy and be with you. And she might, and it's like, do you really want that? You know what I mean? If she cheats on him or she leaves him for you, what do you think she's gonna do with you? She's gonna cheat on you or leave you eventually when another guy who's better than you comes along, or she feels that this other guy is offering something that you can't offer, or you're offering something that her husband can't offer. It's just, it's like a game. It's like a I don't know how to put it. It's like an auction. There you go. It's like an auction. Like you're at an auction. You're like, oh, I like this thing. Let me bid on this thing. Oh, I didn't get that. Oh, well, let me bid on this thing. Women view men as like products to exchange or products to bid on, or like an auction. And it's just like, there's nothing special about that. When you're being, I would say, used. You're being used for what you can do for her. You know, you're basically a product, and there's nothing loving or special about that. You know, and this is why it's kind of bananas for men to work so hard just to afford a woman. And if you think about it, it's really true, and it's a bad way to say it, you know. But again, it's the truth, because it's like, you really think you love that woman? You really think there's love between you when, if you lose your job, you lose your resources, you lose your ability to provide and quote unquote be a man, and then she'll leave you? That's a conditional love, and that's just common sense. It's like, if you think that your woman really loves you, like, just lose all your money, lose your stability, lose your resources, lose your home, lose all the things that are making her life, you know, nice. Lose your nest. Start struggling and see if she sticks with you through the struggle. Most women won't, and yeah, there's a certain kind of toxic love, you know, like when people are on drugs or something. That's a whole different story. But some women will stick with guys who are addicted to drugs or something, and that's a different kind of, that's called codependence. That's a whole different ball game. But everybody's normal, everybody's sober, everybody's healthy mentally, you know. Lose Start struggling and see if her, you know, love for you doesn't change, you know. So there you go. Appreciate you guys listening. Jay Lee Northwest Podcast. Peace.